Hey, what's going on, guys? Roniboney here. Now, what you're seeing right there on screen is the PS3 navigation controller. It's like a little nunchuck. I was using this for about, I think, nearly a month while I transitioned from console over to PC because I do not like using WASD on the keyboard to move around. And this was a really, really good get around for only €5. Now, what you're seeing on screen right now is the Splitfish FragFX. It's a Fragchuck. So basically there are three buttons on the very back, so three kind of back bumper buttons, a control stick. I can also map every single button on this, and I'm going to use it alongside my Logitech G700S mouse, which is a really, really great mouse. I would recommend it to everyone. It's really comfortable. I think the buttons are in the right place. Now, you might be thinking, this is a really, really weird thing to be playing on PC with. Why would you not just use the keyboard? Well, for me, transitioning as a console player who's always tried, by the way, to get into PC gaming, I've been limited, completely limited by by the hardware. You know, I just don't like the keyboard. For me, the keyboard just does not feel like the best way of moving around. I like strafing in games, mainly because I used to play Halo. I think that strafing using a control stick for me has just become second nature. That anything less than that is actually just uncomfortable for me. So I decided to look up methods of actually playing with the nunchuck. Like as you saw at the start of the video, I was using the PS3 navigation controller for a long while, and honestly that was a great method of doing things. I did have to download a program called Better DS3 Tool. It's third-party software that basically tricks the PS3 Move controller into thinking that it is an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One controller, depending on your whichever you fancy, and you're able to use this to play with your games. So you can use, you know, the buttons that would be mapped on the left-hand side of the controller, and you can then map some buttons on your own personal mouse. So that's what I was doing for a while, but I thought to myself, there has to be a better method of doing this, you know. Like, I didn't want to have to keep using all these third-party apps where I had to, you know, individually for each game map the different button functions. Now, this is the cheapest method using the PS3 Nav controller. If you check on eBay or Amazon or anything, you can get these things for between $5 and $15, euro, pounds, whatever it is. They're very, very inexpensive at this point in time because the PS3, you know, is not, you know, the most current gen console. But I think that the Splitfish FragFX, I've been using it there for 2-3 hours. Honestly, before this, I wasn't able to play games like Battlefield. First-person games just seemed really, really... Even using the PS3 Nav controller, they felt really, really clunky. They felt weird because, you know, having the extra button there and just the placement, how it sits in your hand is really, really nice. As you can see there, you know, I'm able to actually move my mouse around properly and everything. I don't need to really worry, and I have it there in my hand. I'm just sitting back, you know, I'm really, really comfortable in how I'm sitting and playing. And honestly, it's great. Now, the differences between these two, because I think if you're just starting off, then trying out the PS3 Nav controller method is probably your best method until you decide, or unless you decide to buy a better piece of kit, which I think the Splitfish FragFX is. It's really, really comfortable. The difference between the two of them is that, yes, like I said, the PS3 Nav controller will be registered as an Xbox 360 controller. So for some games, you are not going to be able to customize your buttons. Whereas the Splitfish Fragchuck, you can actually, it's natively supported and it's natively recognized as a keyboard. So you're able to map your buttons onto this really, really easily. You just go into your key bindings like you do on PC. It's absolutely simple, guys. It's pretty much right now my favorite method of playing games, seeing as I have sold my Xbox and everything, and I still have a controller knocking around the place. But in my opinion, I really like the mouse for aiming. I just think that the keyboard for me, and I know a lot of PC elitists are going to get mad at this, but I just think that, you know, that this is an easier method for people, especially transitioning over from console to get themselves into PC gaming, because it is hard. It is a completely different ball game, especially playing the Battlefield games, which you're about to see now. I don't actually have any of the camera footage of me playing with this, so you guys will probably get the gist of how this actually goes from looking at the Left 4 Dead footage at first. But it's really, really easy. I'm able to finally move around this game fluidly. Now, when I did connect the PS3 Nav controller, because this is an older game, and it's not really supported with controller, or it wasn't at the time of its release, it's extremely difficult to try to get this controller to function properly. The PS3 Nav controller to function properly alongside older FPS games. Whereas using the Splitfish FragFX, it works flawlessly. It's perfect. Now, it'll be perfect, and the PS3 Nav controller will be perfect in any new games you guys pick up. But for older games, and if that's what you want to do with your PC, you know, you want to play emulated games, you want to play older titles, I think that this is essential. And for me, this basically unlocks loads of different emulated games, lots of older PC games, and newer games that come out for me. Basically, I have my PC system sorted now. I know exactly how I'm going to game. I know how comfortable I'm going to be when I'm gaming, which is very comfortable using this piece of tech. And it's just going to be a much better time for me gaming. And I would like to thank Splitfish. They are a German company, so thank you very much, Danke, for making this product, because it's essentially something that I've been looking for years, you know, to try and cross that bridge between PC and console, because there are some things that, you know, the different controller inputs do better, you know, that the mouse definitely aims a lot better. You can be a lot more precise, you know, a lot more about what's going on screen using the mouse. But, especially for games like Gears of War on PC, using a controller and using a control stick is much easier than using the keyboard. And it's just a lot more precise using the actual control sticks. And I think for this reason, something like the Splitfish FragFX, the nunchuck, is an extremely useful piece of kit. There are some other ones out there, I believe, that were trying to compete with Splitfish back in the day. I can't remember the name, but like I said, if you want to get a nice cheap method and you want to kind of like, you know, get your feet wet with this method, try and buy a PS3 nav controller. It'll be there in no time. It's very inexpensive. It's very easy to set up. And it's just a really good fun time. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. If you have any other weird kind of controller input ways that you use to play PC, let me know. At one stage I was using my Elite controller plugged in as well as the mouse, and I would use, you know, the Elite controller and the back paddles. Honestly, I think if there was a kind of nunchuck that had back paddles as well as front paddles and bumpers, that would be honestly the best way to do it. So Splitfish, if you're listening right now, please try and look into making a controller, a Chuck controller that looks exactly like the PS or the Xbox One Elite controller, with some of the paddles or even buttons on the back like a Cinch controller, because those things are just amazing. As a console gamer that has played with a Cinch controller, that I've dabbled around with a Shark controller, and I played for over a year there with an Xbox One Elite controller before selling it. Honestly, they're really, really comfortable and extremely great ways of playing the game and just reacting properly. So that kind of bridges the gap between PC and console. Those controllers do. But I think if you were to make a controller or a Chuck controller that has the bumpers and the back paddles, you would be absolutely rocking. A lot of console gamers would just completely ditch console and come over to PC. So thank you very much for watching, lads. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.